Welcome to the Row by Row Garden Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the radio and the internet too. Look here, folks, we got something special for you this evening. That's right. We got Cog Squad in the house. Welcome, Mr. Cog Squad. Jason.
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Good.
It is a pleasure to have you.
It was awesome to be here.
Good deal. Yep. First time meeting face to face.
It is first time meeting face to face.
Been knowing each other for a while.
I was going to say, working with each other for a good long time now.
Yeah, we enjoy your channel, enjoy all the great content you put out there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. So we're going to be talking about homesteading this evening. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
Get a little insight there on homesteading.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so we're going to move in there a little later. Let's talk about product spotlight to start with. And Jason, if you'll hand me some here. Now, I know you all out there, especially in zone 9 and 8, maybe even zone 7, you're starting to plan ahead just a little bit. And you're thinking to yourself, and you can give me your input here, Jason. You know, we have this heat rolling in here, and our spring garden is going to be winding up before long, another 30 days. It's probably going to be over with, and you're thinking, what am I going to do the rest of the summer because I've enjoyed this gardening so much? Flowers. Man, look at these zinnias right here. If you can look at these right here, these are Benary Giant mix. And this is the mix, which is one of my favorite. We have them in the solid colors, so you can buy individual colors, but the mix to me just absolutely pops.
They're beautiful. And we just planted these this week.
Really?
This week, sure did. Just planted them this week, and sunflowers, both.
Yep. You direct seed them, or you can transplant them. Either one. They do great either way.
So easy.
Yeah.
Very easy.
It's so rewarding to have this right here.
Very rewarding.
You know, if you ever have those rough days at work where things is kind of tough on you, and you come in, you just want to walk out there and you see this right here, these vibrant colors right there, just kind of lift you up a little bit. And plus, you know, as we often said, if you get yourself in a tight with a wife, boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Go out there and pick her a bouquet, carry them in there, and I guarantee you she's going to be speechless for a little bit. And then you just kind of let things silence over a little bit and gloss over. Next thing you know, she's forgot all about that while she was mad at you.
Exactly.
Move on.
Move on.
Life's good.
Real good.
We carry these Benary Giants in the 50 pack, and I believe this is the 250 pack right here. And 250 pack, I mean, that's a lot of seeds. That'll go, you want to plant them a little bit thick.
Yeah.
You can plant 10 feet pretty easy with that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 75 days of maturity, 94% germination. So there you go, folks. Be thinking ahead a little bit and be thinking about what am I going to do? What am I going to put on these plots after my squash is gone, after my green beans is gone, after my corn is gone. And these 3 things that I will tell you to keep in mind. You can plant okra over and over again all through the summer. You could plant something like roselle. You could have that rocking along. Or any type of flower loves to heat, and you're going to do well with that all into the fall. So,
and the sunflowers can make good cover crop.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
If you go in a big area, you can do that black oil sunflower. It's pretty reasonable, so that makes it, you're right, it does make a great cover crop. Let's move this out of the way. How about that?
That worked.
All right. What about your garden, man? How's it looking?
My garden, this is the best it's ever been.
Really?
The best garden I've grown. I've never been able to grow sweet onions. And I had unreal sweet onions, big, nice sweet onions. I've struggled at growing bell peppers for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I got those purple, how you say it,
Merlots, yeah.
I got a purple one I saw this morning.
Yep.
And so, yeah, that's 2 things. And potatoes, even though the rain was so bad this year, I still had a good crop of potatoes. And since it was raining, I was so late planting them, I didn't even cut them up. I just planted a whole potato and still had an awesome potato.
Yeah, so I was like you. I planted my potatoes later than I've ever planted them on kind of rain. And I made the best potato crop I've ever made.
Really?
And I don't know why.
I
don't have a clue. I guess it may have been the cool nights. I don't know.
Mine was awesome. And the red and Orleans were phenomenal.
Yep.
Really were. It was
Yep.
great.
Great year for potatoes. Now, I struggled a little bit on my onions this year.
My onions were awesome.
Yeah, it's just amazing how different things happen for you on different years.
It is.
And you got the weather to contend with. You know, we probably had different types of conditions there to grow under.
Yeah, because I think you're an 8B.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm an 8A, so it's a little bit,
We got hammered with wet weather, and I had some disease in mine. But it come out okay. We salvaged them, but made a great potato crop to follow it up, and that's always a bonus when you get one of those major good crops. Makes you feel good.
It does make you feel good.
So we got corn fixing to be in probably the next couple of weeks. We're in the middle of tomatoes. Look here. Look right here. Now this is some of the new ones we're growing this year. And I know I've already spoke about This is at
The purple boy.
Purple Boy, and this is the Yellow Boy right here. These are new ones I'm growing this year. This is awesome. And then we got some of these cherry tomatoes right down here that are coming in. I think that's a Rosie Finch there. I'm not sure what she picked these two. I'm not sure what these are. I guarantee they're going to be good to eat.
They're going to be good to eat.
But I'm telling you, these yellow tomatoes have got a unique flavor to me.
And that's the yellow boys?
That's the Yellow Boys. And they're doing real good. It's indeterminate.
Yeah, I told Wes from Louisiana, I told him, he's doing a market garden. I said, look, you need to get you some of those yellow boys and them purple boys, and you're going to sell them down there in that Cajun country.
Yeah, that
and
right
market
there,
them as them LSU tomatoes.
Absolutely, absolutely. That right there I think that's a perfect market garden tomato right there.
It's beautiful.
Because it's got beautiful color to it. It looks like an heirloom, although it's not.
It's not, yeah.
But it's got great flavor to it. So I tell folks all the time, I said, if you got a market stand or something other, you got to look into that series there, that Purple Boy, Lemon Boy. That's some good tomatoes right there. Let's see what else we got going. We got peppers coming in. We got, all kind of stuff. We're eating out of the garden left and right. Cucumbers. We start making pickles.
Really?
Squash.
I was so late this year planting. My tomatoes are now starting to come on. I'm fixing to start picking squash and zucchini this week. And I'm going to harvest garlic probably tomorrow or the next day.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm late. I'm way behind.
You talking about elephant garlic?
Elephant garlic.
Okay.
It's just now dying back. Yeah.
So what zone are you in?
I'm in 8A, but I planted so late because it was so wet this year.
Yeah, I
got a terrible late start.
Yeah. It's an unusual year.
It was really unusual year.
Yep. So let's move into the main segment a little bit because this is going to be great because I'm interested to get Jason's viewpoint on a lot of this stuff because you have a huge amount of experience. Let's talk about homesteading. Now, homesteading to a lot of people means a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And there's even a popular YouTuber out there that calls it modern homesteading.
Modern homesteading.
And it's subjective to what your thoughts are, and that's okay because it does mean so much to me, people, and to what they're trying to achieve. Now, what exactly does it mean to you?
The way I look at it is farm versus homestead is usually the one people compare a lot. And to me, farm is for profit. And homesteading is more for yourself. That to me, that's the difference. For us, homesteading is dependent on ourselves a lot, whether it be food, whether it be meat, being sustainable as we can be, and not selling any of it unless we have too much of it, but more for ourselves and versus like a farm, which is more for profit. That's just my opinion of a homestead.
Sure.
Depending more on yourself.
Right. Although you can, a lot of people do have income off from that.
They do have income off of it.
You talked about earlier when we was meeting in the back. Y'all used to do chickens.
We used to do meat chickens. Yeah, we did meat chickens for 5 years. We raised meat chickens, and then we tried quail. Mm-hmm. We tried rabbits. We tried ducks. But yeah, you can make a profit off of it for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But homesteading can be different, and a lot of people think about it as being completely sustainable.
Yes.
Which is hard to do.
Very hard to do. Very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what you got to have to make things work for you sometimes.
Make things work for you. Everybody's got a different farm. Everybody's got a different soil. Everybody's got different land. So everybody's been handed, been dealt a different hand than other folks. So adaptation is huge. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Everybody's got different problems. They may have health issues. They may have, they may have several in the family that can help.
That's right.
You may be limited on what you could do.
That's
so you have to
too.
all kind of make it work together for you.
Yep.
When you think about homesteading, when we think about it, and I'm on up in my 50s, believe it or not. The homestead to us, back in the day, we thought about, actually living off the land and just being very poor.
Yes.
But it didn't have to be about that. It can be about actually enjoying, because watching y'all's videos and everything, you just get this sense that y'all were enjoying life.
We absolutely love it. Enjoy it. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't do it otherwise. Right. Yeah, we absolutely enjoy it.
What advice would you give for somebody that had that idea? Okay, we want a homestead, but maybe we don't know a lot about what we're getting into here.
Take it slow, because it can become very overwhelming. We've done it a bunch. Take on way too much. Take it slow. And the other thing would be, don't get caught up in, word I use is fads. Don't get caught up in these fads, or just because one person does it one way and that person's very popular and is well known that that's the only way it has to be done, and if you can't do it that way, don't feel guilty.
Right.
Because every situation is different, and figure out what works best for you, but take it slow because you will get overwhelmed because it's a lot. It can be a lot.
And you can homestead off an acre.
Heck yeah.
Or you can homestead off 40 acres.
Absolutely.
So don't limit yourself maybe to what your resources are.
Right. And I even look back when we had meat chickens, we started them out doing it, which we don't have thousands of acres of pasture land. We have 7.5 acres. Acre of it is a cemetery. Another acre and a half is in a residential area that's zoned. So basically we had like 5 acres. 75% of it was wooded. So I couldn't run meat chickens like a Joel Salatin could, even though I tried and absolutely failed doing it. I made 4 different chicken tractors. None of them worked. So we ended up adapting, making a little hoop house, letting them free range, and that's what we did with our meat chickens.
Wow.
But if I would have said that the way Joel Salatin does this is the only way to do it, I would have failed.
Right.
So, just adaptation's key.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. And being willing to fail and move on and learn and readjust.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah, we see that so much, people trying to grow their own food. So, from a homesteading standpoint, part of it is providing yourself with food.
Yes.
So livestock is a whole different, that's a whole different side here.
Right.
And you have your fair amount of experience with that.
Yes.
But what we try to do is we try to help people grow their own food. And we see all the time people failing because they want to stick to a certain genre of, this is the way it's got to be done.
Yep.
And, we get these people that want us to tell them exactly how to do things. And it's hard because, I can tell you what nitrogen requirements are corn, but I don't know in your area, I don't know your soil type. I don't know how often you got to water. And a lot of that is subjective to what you've got to learn on your own. It would be wonderful if I could say, look here, this is step by step, this is the way you do it. But so many times you have to do things a little different than what I do.
Yes. I can't, we've been gardening for, 15, 16 years now. And every year I learn something different.
Right.
Like I've never been grow sweet onions until this year.
Right.
And it was just because planting at the wrong time, not starting from seed, and then planting too deep. And I learned all that this year.
Right. That's a prime example of what we want to talk about some today, is when you do start planning to grow your own food, you got to do a fair amount of research there. And you got to understand there is some principles you have to follow, and onions is one of them. So as you mentioned, you got to plant them at the right time.
Got to plant them at the right time.
And for us, that's the fall of the year. We like to plant them in the fall of the year and overwinter them. But not only that, you got to plant the right variety.
Yep.
So there's different varieties, and I actually didn't even know this till, I was probably in my early 40s, because up to then we just went to the hardware store and bought a bundle of onions.
Wrapped around with a rubber band.
We didn't know about it.
That's right.
I didn't know they were short day, long day, intermediate day onions. But now, you got to plant the right onion at the right time, and you got to fertilize it right, because, onions like sulfur, and at a certain point, you got to quit fertilizing them so they bulb up. So there's a whole process of how to do it. So do your research on how that's done, but then be nimble enough to be able to move around a little bit to make it fit for you.
That's right.
So onions, corn. Let me tell you something. We see this all the time. Corn is one of those crops that are, it's really rewarding. Sweet corn, and even field corn. You can make your own cornmeal and grits or whatever, animal feed.
Yep.
Corn is an advanced crop for most homesteaders, and it's not something I recommend for a beginner because it is so tough. It takes so much water and fertility. People want to plant 1 or 2 long rows, and you just can't get pollination that way. You need to plant them in blocks. And the biggest thing I see with corn is they always stress it somewhere along the line, and it didn't grow off. It looks a little weak there at the end, and then they wonder what happened. If you stress that corn anywhere along the line, then it's going to get stunted. So corn is a prime example of those things that you probably shouldn't start into when you start homesteading, when you start growing.
Absolutely wouldn't want to grow corn.
So what would be your advice for the crops that they should start with when they are just beginners trying to start to grow their own food?
I would say squash for one.
Summer squash.
Don't even have to start in seed trays. Heck, even winter squash too.
Yeah.
Don't have to start in seed trays. It's going to give you more than enough to eat.
Right.
And super easy. And for the most part, pretty much disease resistant for a little
Yeah.
bit there. You'll get a good bit off of it before the insects come in.
And the summer squash are quick.
Real quick.
Yeah.
And you can keep planting them over and over again too.
Yep.
That would be my number one, would be squash.
What's number 2?
Number 2 would be, I want to say tomatoes.
Well, they said they're rewarding.
Because they're good.
They're good.
But maybe tomatoes isn't the right one to say.
It may not, but you know what? It's the most popular crop.
It is the most popular crop.
But everybody loves it. Everybody should love a good tomato sandwich.
Everybody, yeah. I want to say cucumbers too. Cucumbers are pretty easy.
Yeah.
You can even direct seed cucumbers. You want to start them in seed trays either.
Right.
But squash and cucumbers would be really, really easy and very rewarding. And plenty, more than enough.
In small areas.
Small area, you can grow the cucumbers up. Yeah.
So let's talk about fall and winter gardening.
Okay.
What do you think there?
Collard
What have you had success with?
greens.
Collard greens. You got to be from the South to appreciate that.
Collard greens are super easy, and they just keep producing like crazy, and we love them.
Yeah.
Especially for cornbread.
Right. Yeah.
What's your favorite?
I like to grow lettuce, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, and I got into growing lettuce a few years ago because it's always been the past. I thought you had to go, and this was years ago, iceberg lettuce, but you ain't got to grow iceberg lettuce. We can't grow it here to start with. But they have so many opportunities to grow leaf lettuce and these loose leaf lettuces that grow fine here in the South.
Yeah.
And to be able to go out there and cut you a fresh, head of lettuce and have a salad whenever you want it is wonderful for me. I love lettuce. I love spinach.
I hadn't
A
grown
lot of people
spinach
want
before. I had to try spinach.
Spinach is easy to
and
grow.
you just direct seed it out.
Direct
too,
seed it, make it thick. Yeah, and it's great. So some of the things, kohlrabi.
And I grew kohlrabi this year for the first time, and we loved it. And I can't tell how many bowls of kohlrabi slaw we had.
And it's easy to grow.
It's so easy to grow.
Yeah. Of course, cabbage. Everybody loves cabbage.
Yeah.
And all those. And I think broccoli, cauliflower. We could go on and on. A lot of people don't. They don't do as much fall and winter gardening as I think they should, but they are doing better. I mean, it's becoming more and more understanding that you can garden year round.
And there's probably more stuff you can plant in the especially for us.
Right.
Because it's so hot and humid here in the fall and winter, and we can in the spring and summer.
Yeah, as we stated earlier with the flowers, our downtime is July and August.
Yeah.
Because that's where we have the most problem.
Yep.
Where people up north, they snowed in wintertime, they don't grow anything. But our problem is in the middle of summertime. That's the reason we refer to these flowers and these okras and things like that. But we do really good in wintertime.
We do good in wintertime.
Yeah, unless you have one of those major hard freezes that sets you back.
But yeah, the wintertime, and now to be honest with you, I didn't start growing hardcore wintertime until probably about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it nice to go out there and
it's cool outside, and you're not sweating, you're not beating the mosquitoes down with a tennis racket.
Some of those fresh collard greens. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so easy to cook.
Yeah. So I got a little corny joke for you.
Okay.
You like corny jokes?
Sure do.
Why was the cucumber mad?
Why?
Because it was in a pickle. How about that? Yeah, and feel free. You can use my corny jokes anywhere at school, at church, anywhere you want to.
I'm gonna tell Mary Cross as soon as we get through.
You can use that anywhere you need to. Yeah. So let's talk about your YouTube channel just a little bit. You have a huge presence on YouTube, Facebook. Probably not as much on Facebook. YouTube's the main driver.
YouTube's our main driver. We do post on Facebook a lot now, and then we've even spread it out. We're doing Instagram and TikTok, and we're doing all that. And we have a podcast too that's audible, and you can watch it on our separate podcasting channel. Right. And been doing it for 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and really enjoy it. And then the whole family's enjoys it now. So yeah, it's great. Funny thing is, when I first started the channel, it was just a hobby.
Right.
Ain't nothing about it. Brooke made Carl wasn't any in the videos. As a matter of fact, Brooke thought I was crazy carrying that camera around, recording myself out in that.
And dancing.
Dancing?
Because you're known as the dancing farmer.
Known as the dancing farmer.
And I might say, I'm a little envious of some of your moves. Yeah. I've tried to replicate them, but I haven't done a very good job. But you don't dance as much as you used to.
My old knees is getting rough on me.
Yeah. Do what you can.
My old knees is getting rough on me as I'm getting a little older.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you do what you got to do.
That's right.
I got a little bit of a free to be tip to give everybody.
Okay.
How about that?
That works.
And you're probably going to enjoy this too.
All right.
So have you ever noticed, and this is completely out there because we don't sell these, so I'm not making anything off of it. This is something that I have come to realize in a couple of weeks because a buddy of me brought me one of these right here, and he said, Greg, you got to try this. So with our new warehouse in the back, we laid sod on all the backside, and I'm having to water out there a lot, and I'm having to do it with overhead irrigation. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the overhead irrigation, when you think about that, you think about the old impact sprinkler.
Yep.
None of them put out water consistently everywhere. Have you ever noticed that?
Yep.
They always put more at the end or less at the end. It's just dumb. Now, what I do like about them is you can sneak up on them when you need to move.
That's right.
Them. You can G.I. Joe up on them where you don't get wet. You can't do that with this one. You're going to get wet. But this is a new sprinkler head. I say new. It's new to me. Synerger, and it's called the X Wobbler. And you buy these things for about $10. You have to make your own little stand. I think they sell the stands. I made mine. It's got 1/2-inch threads on there. But this baby right here throws a consistent radius of water, and it's consistent from the far out all the way to the end. It's the same amount.
You can't sneak up on it?
You can't sneak up on it. Turn it off before you go do it because you're going to get wet. But have you ever seen anything that was consistent as far as sprinkler? I hadn't either. We've always had that problem. But folks, we're going to show you what it looks like out there in the real world here. But these things right here, I think they're about $10. I don't even know where I think Amazon may have them. But they pretty dead gum neat. I'm telling you, if I've seen something that blows me away every now and then, this was one of it. So if you need an overhead sprinkler, and you can get them with different nozzles in them according to how much water you got there, but that's the dead gum neatest thing. My buddy brought it to me. He said, that's the neatest thing I've seen in a while. I said, really? But then after I tried it, I said, yep, it sure is.
How far out does it go?
Maybe about 30 feet.
Wow.
And it's according to how much water you got. So you can change the nozzles out to match your water. But it's just the consistency of it is just awesome. So you got those dry spots if you need an overhead water sprinkler, heck, give it a try. Anyhow, tip of the day, freebie of the day. How about that? So, Jason, it was wonderful having you, man.
Man, great to be here. Absolutely.
So we're gonna put your information up there so people can find you. If they got some questions, post them on YouTube or whatever. If they want to, got some questions for you.
Yeah.
YouTube, or how's your
Facebook, anywhere. We get emails, we get messages. Any of the social media sites, you can just message
got some of that awesome Cog Squad merchandise.
That's right. Got that on our website. You can go to our website. Everything's there. If you go to our website, thecogheelfarm.com.
Right.
Yep.
Cool deal. All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show this evening. Hope you may have just picked up a little bit of tidbit that's going to help you with your endeavors to get out there and enjoy life. And folks, now it's time to get out there and get dirty.